What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and today, as you can see here on the screen, they just announced that these cards are no longer restricted. So let's go ahead and go over it. The official One Piece card game English Twitter tweeted out removal of the cards from banned and restricted list. Since the game environment has changed, 7 cards will no longer be banned or restricted. So it's Nami, Radical Beam, Edward Newgate, and the 9-cost character, right? Not only that, here we go. Curly Dodon, Marco, and the other character Marco, the 4-cost and the 5-cost are no longer restricted. So those are the 7 cards that are no longer going to be restricted / banned. They're back as of December 8th. This is breaking news. This is really huge. Like, you guys have to understand that, this is not only very good for most red decks. Knowing OPO5, the red decks still kind of struggle against Sakazuki, these bigger, better decks. So this is a good change just so they're more viable. On top of that, now for Nationals, we know that our set list is going to be the exact same. I think Worlds in March is also going to be OPO5 because we won't get OPO6 until March. So I think it should be OPO5 as well. If I'm not mistaken, that is what I am assuming. But regardless of the fact, we're going to be, on the same wavelength as Asia, as, they're a set ahead, right? But now this is how they played their OPO5 meta, right? With none of these restrictions in place. And so red is back to its full power, its full potential. And so our OPO5 is going to be very, very fun. I think this is a great change. It's, it finally happened. Let's go over and see if we can see any changes in the prices. This just came out 2 hours ago. All right, as you guys can see here, this Newgate just a week ago was at $100. It has 2x. It was slowly going up over the last couple of days because this was kind of brewing, right? And now it is at $200. So people have been buying this up today, an insane amount. So here, as cheap as $139. Somebody definitely, has been buying them up, and now the cheapest is at $202, as well as the alternate art. The alternate art a couple weeks ago was $30, $35, and then it slowly was ramping up, and then even 2 days ago it was $45, and so now it is sitting at over $108. If we look at some of the sales, the cheapest sale today was at $50. The cheapest sale today was at $42. And so now somebody has bought them all up. They're sitting at $110 for the cheapest English version. And then as well as some of the Marcos here. I have this championship Marco card right here. And I'm holding on to it. It is now worth $700. The pricing, the last bot was at $540. And it looks like this is not going down anytime soon. As well as this... Treasure Cup Marco, it is not a $600 price range. I had one of these and I sold it around $400, $350, I think. And so it has just shot up in price. Both of these Marco altards here are as well just shooting up, doubling over price, 2.5x. This Marco, not as much because it is not as used in OPO5, right? This is more of like a Zoro kind of card. Newgate can run this, but now you're going to want to run the 4 blocker Marcos, the 4 Newgates instead, right? Kind of going back to those slower, more defensive lists. But this card here, definitely went up a little bit. A week ago it was at $24. As you can see here today, it has been bought up as well. Now it is sitting at $48. So these cards just shot up in price. The market is, it's doing what it does best, right? People see these kind of things, they instantly react, and so people that already have these cards definitely win. People who don't definitely lose. People that don't and want these cards definitely lose. But yeah, overall thoughts, I 100% agree with these restriction lifts because we need to be on the same page as Asia, especially going into Worlds, right? The World Championship that is going to be held in Japan May 2nd and 3rd, I believe. It is going to be one to remember, and it's going to be the very first for One Piece. And so obviously we have Nationals for us in the US in Los Angeles coming up January 27th and 28th. And so I'm going to be competing in that, and I'm definitely going to be trying my hardest. However I place, however I do, it is what it is, but I am definitely going to be trying my hardest to get a good placement. And let's go ahead and go over some comments and see what people are saying. So here we have Vampire Gaming saying Bandai W. Let's go ahead and like that. That's great. How about we reprint OPO1 and OPO2? That is a great observation. I would like to see OPO1 and OPO2 reprinted, and if not reprinted, at least you know, some definitely alternate arts of certain cards that are really expensive, right? So, you know, maybe not the leaders, but like definitely some of the other cards. We don't need Otamas at, you know, $4 or $5 each. Last time I checked, they were like $4 a pop for the Otamas. But just common, uncommon cards like that definitely could be reprinted and you know, make them into another starter deck or something. Like the Zoros, the 3-drop Zoro Rush Zoros. That's an amazing reprint. See, now reprint OPO1, OPO2. So people will, I mean, regardless, we got what we wanted. The restrictions are lifted. People are still complaining to reprint OPO1 and OPO2. And while they do have a point, you know, Bandai is ultimately the one with the decision. It's lit. RP Luffy and Whitebeard back on the menu. Fire the team that banned them in the first place and fire the team that is against reprints. So, I mean, we're not going to be able to get rid of all complainers, but there are a lot of people that are happy. Can you unban Moby Dick as well? That is a hot take, my brother. I don't think it should be. So let's see here. Yeah, so overall, like thumbs up, OPO1, OPO2 reprint, right? He's not complaining, but he's asking, like, you know, are there going to be reprints? So I definitely think the overall consensus is a good vibe. Like, this needed to happen, right? People saw it coming, and we just finally have concrete proof of it happening. I enjoy this card game. Do I think OPO1 and OPO2 should be reprinted? Yes, I feel like there should be a reprint. Newer players, it's very hard to get their very hard for them to get their hands on these older cards as they're so expensive. Even reprint starter deck 1 through 4. That would be amazing, you know, kind of level out the market a bit. And then eventually the market's going to go back up, right? And then you don't have to do reprints anymore. I think it's still so early on that we can see a reprint, which would be beneficial to the core players, the game, the new players, everything in between. Let's see here. I quit. Okay, someone's upset. Hell yeah, the investments I put into Dodons is paying off after all. Should have stayed banned. Well, they are definitely not banned. I don't think they should have stayed banned. I'm glad that they, you know, released the cards. Now when people test, they can test with 4 New Gates. They can test with 4 Rad Beams. However their deck list is, they're going to have to take these into account. These are really strong cards, right? So red is definitely not out of the picture anymore. There's probably still going to be Whitebeards that are going to try to make it work. I personally am going to play Sakazuki and learn matchups with him and everything in between. Low tier decks, high tier decks. I'm going to play against everything and just learn the deck as best I can. And so that's what I am in the process of doing. But overall, I am very, very glad that this is happening. This is definitely a W. Good job to One Piece card game. Definitely moving in the right direction. So it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward, as no tournaments have been announced after Nats, and so, or even before Nats. So it's going to be interesting if we're going to have any regionals, treasure cups, anything to use to practice. I know there's a offline tournament in Los Angeles, December 16th, which is a 3v3 and a regional. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend that one, but I will be at Nationals in January. But let's see if, you know, they can give us, you know, some type of online tournaments in the meantime, because it is going to be a whole 2 months before then. And so, you know, maybe they can do that. That'd be pretty cool. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate everybody that's watched, and we hit 2,000 subscribers. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys definitely have made all of this happen. So I appreciate you guys so much. Like this video, comment down below what you think about these unbans, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.